welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Liberal Podcast. I am your host, Nick Zankin, and I'm so happy to have you on this lovely Sunday evening. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about a pretty weird and stupid week of news, but while the news may be stupid, the show is good, I promise. So I think you'll enjoy it, and surprisingly, Rick and I had a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alrighty, and we are back with Rick. Rick, what is up?
Hey, not much. Great to be here. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah. Well, you had some IT issues, and now you're resolved, right? You got your computer.
Yeah, I just got back from the Geek Squad a few minutes ago, actually.
Really? The Geeks are still around?
Yeah, they're still going. I can't believe that Best Buy near us is still open, by the way. That used to be Circuit City.
Yeah, seriously. And I think, Best Buy is a weird one that it's stayed, like Amazon hasn't totally killed it yet, which is interesting.
Yeah, there's something sad about the inside of a Best Buy nowadays. Just,
I know.
I don't know. Reminds you of olden times.
Yeah, it just feels not. It is weird how what's supposed to be a futuristic-y store has become kind of like a relic of the past.
Yeah, it's just now half like car stereos. That's like half their market now.
Well, the average age of a customer there is probably 50 plus, right?
Yeah.
They still have they've dedicated themselves to their uniforms too, both the Geek Squad and the Best Buy staff, more than I feel like normal stores haven't been so, like the collar shirt, kind of like that, them Target.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, those colors.
Have you ever had to wear a uniform?
Yeah, I did at my supermarket job. I worked at a supermarket for 5 years in like over high school and a year after, and we actually had to wear a tie, like a tucked-in shirt with a tie. Yeah, which was kind of formal for a supermarket, but then you could wear an apron or like a jacket that the store gives you over it. I wore an apron because the jacket was too hot because I would stock the shelves and I didn't want to be in like a coat. But
suit and tie.
So I stocked shelves in a tie, button down, and apron.
Did you get good at tying ties?
Yeah, definitely. I got the job in 8th grade too, like right after I turned 14. So it was a good, like I was not good at tying ties before then. And so, yeah, it was great practice. Have you had to wear a uniform at all?
That's a good question. Well, famously, I don't know if it's famous. I don't know, probably no one knows it other than you. I worked at Panera for like a month in high school, and then I got fired.
A short-lived...
Yeah, a short burst of a
in
Panera
an emotional month.
A lot of ups and a very significant down. But yeah,
it was next to the supermarket that I worked at, actually.
Yeah, in the same plaza. We had a little bit of commuting overlap for a few weeks.
I would walk by and taunt you through the windows after my shift.
I'm just cleaning the dining room. Yeah, I mean, I got fired. I got fired for leaving my shift early to go to a tennis match. And I told them I was going. I didn't realize they had said you can't go. And I said, too bad, I'm going. I had to make the call. And no, I mean, I worked at that sub shop. I unbelievably named Nick's Place, not related to me, but I did wear that tee for a while. But they didn't care about the pants, and they definitely weren't as formal as a tie. I'm awful at tying ties. Every time there's a wedding and I have to wear one, I'm watching that same YouTube video that's like 20 years old of the British guy being like, "I'm gonna show you how to tie a Windsor knot," and I'm just like screaming.
I've never gotten into the alternative knots. I feel like those have made a big comeback the last few years, and they're too intimidating for me to start getting involved in that.
I'm not learning a new knot. I can barely do my original knot.
Right.
I'm not.
I quit Boy Scouts in 4th grade.
Yeah, after the Pinewood Derby. But the Boy Scout. Yeah. Anyway. We could go on for that. We've got some interesting news to talk about, but what has been kind of in vogue for these questions that we've been getting over the last few weeks, we keep getting a kind of a different splattering of questions, some very political, some not. So I was thinking we could lead again with a politics one and then end with a more kind of cultural, personality question.
Sounds great.
Yeah, personality is maybe a better way to word it. But this is a politics one, and it is from Tom. Again, no location. Please write in where you're writing from, but appreciate the question, Tom. Tom asks, do you think that the U.S. should ban sports betting with all the drama going on, and how would that even look?
Great question.
I mean, I don't think they can ban it, or they will ban it, but it is a good question, though, about especially prop bets and specific, like the over-unders on certain things, and especially with the NBA drama with the mafia or whatever.
Yeah, MLB is having the same thing, where it's investigating all these players for prop bets, because in MLB, like, you can make a prop bet about the first pitch a pitcher throws is a ball instead of a strike, and it's like that doesn't affect the game at all. So like it's so easy to convince the player to do it for money as opposed to like throwing an entire game, Totally.
And there's so many. I mean, we should definitely do a deep dive on that. That thing Kalshi or Kalshi. I don't know how to pronounce it. You've seen that though. You know what I'm talking about?
Where you can bet on elections and stuff.
And literally anything. Like will Sabrina Carpenter be wearing like a pink dress when accepting the Emmy or whatever? Like random little things, everything in life. And they've been like working more and more with like major broadcasting networks where I saw, I don't know if you saw this, CNN is partnering with them where they're going to be betting on news stories, which this seems like hell on earth.
It's a disaster. That's true.
I mean, yeah, this is the bad place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say I think sports betting should be illegal completely, but they need to crack way down on it, and I do kind of think it should be illegal on apps. Like, I think if you made it go old school where you have to go to a licensed casino that has a physical location to place the bet, which is what it was 5 years ago.
Not long ago. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Very, very recently.
Even in Massachusetts, like New Hampshire legalized online sports betting before Mass, so people would drive to New Hampshire, download the app, find it can tell you're in New Hampshire, and then they would make a sports bet and then drive home to Massachusetts. So it hasn't been that many years, so I would say, yeah, like crack down in it like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I also think that maybe an easier win, or, I mean, I don't know if it's easier, but something that I feel like is a little bit more tenable would be at least limiting the amount of ads that they can run during the games themselves. I'm not anti any of that stuff, but I do think it is pretty crazy, all the DraftKings and FanDuel ads and all this gambling ads, like all the time on TV, on podcasts, on whatever. Again, like I feel kind of weird about it, but like at the same time, like gambling is a very literal, real problem. You know what I mean? Like you could say addiction is like a medical thing, and I wonder why that gets a pass, whereas some other types of advertising doesn't, especially when how much harm bad gambling can cause. And yeah, I get they do that, like, if you have a problem with gambling, please call blah, 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 blah. But like, does that really do anything? Like, how many people like listen to sped up vocals and go, you know what, I should call. I do have a problem gambling. Right. Like it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, I do think it's crazy how much they advertise it. Because, again, with it being on apps and stuff, it is like very kidsy, you know what I mean? Like gamified kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like with all the ads, like they have official partnerships with the NBA, MLB, and like those organizations are also like regulatory bodies in a way. Like those are the organizations that are investigating players for betting on the sports. So it's like that's such a massive conflict of interest to have a business partnership with an activity that's you're saying is illegal for your own people to do. It just seems like it's definitely gotten like out of control. We're in like peak sports betting right now, it feels like.
Yeah, and It kind of feels like what was happening with stocks when Robinhood got really popular. You said just random people just buying stocks and losing money and not knowing what's going on. It's like the same idea, you know? But I don't know. I feel like it's really unlikely that they'll be able to really crack down on any of this stuff. But I mean, I'm almost more worried about the Kalshi stuff, because if people start placing bets and trying to like monetize like every little interaction on like every single piece of media, then like there's going to be, how will you track all of the different, you know, ways that those could be influenced and like the corruption around it, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know the details of this exactly, but that specific app is legal in some states where sports betting online is still illegal, like Utah.
Yeah,
like you can
crazy.
bet on things other than sports with those apps. You just can't bet on sports.
It's just so like, let me read this to you and then we can go on to that news. I mean, this is news. So prediction giant Kalshi strikes a new media partnership with CNBC days after its CNN deal. So it's now with both of them. This thing says, CNN partnership with Kalshi will let you wager on starvation in Gaza. Like, you can now bet on the outcomes of news stories. Like, how many people do you think will die in this strike? Or, like, how many people do you think will die in blah, blah, blah? Like, around the news. And they're partnered with CNN and CNBC. I mean, that, to me, seems so bad. Like,
that's the most dystopian thing I've heard in a long time.
Like, well, doesn't it feel like Hunger Games? Like,
of course.
Now you're gonna see real-time Kalshi odds on CNN in the bottom. There'll be a new Kalshi-powered real-time ticker that will run with the data on the bottom. You know how they do like the stocks and stuff on the bottom? How creepy is this anyway?
That's
how
so
many kids died today in today's mass shooting, or how many blah blah blah? Like, this is what it is.
The fact that you could take the over on people dying, that's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I don't mean to be laughing, but it's just like unreal.
No, it's one of those things that it's almost funny because it's so comically evil that it's
exactly.
like it's unbelievable.
It's just like, it breaks your, and like, this is these two. So now, yeah, it just feels like this is the bad place. This is a disaster. And yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, if this is okay, then I feel like there's no universe in a world where like they're going to be able to reel back, you know, catching footballs or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, great question, Tom.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, remember, you can write in at thelonelyliberalpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so let's get to the news. So it's an interesting news week. You know, not a lot of major headlines, except there is a major headline that is weirdly not one. And it feels like a little tired because we've been talking about it on the show a lot, but it really is worth tracking. So the 22nd U.S. boat strike linked to Venezuela, 4 killed. They're saying that it was a suspected smuggling boat. Now, there's a lot of drama here because, A, they keep killing people, whether it's on either the Atlantic or Pacific side of South America. But even more interesting is that there's a lot of drama around the video footage of the shooting, because apparently they were saying that the people surrendered, and Hexas said they didn't surrender, and Hexas said it doesn't matter if they surrender or not because we can do whatever we want, basically. On top of all of that, you also had Venezuela inducting 5,600 troops this week, which is not great. But yeah, so this is again continuing to heat up, and it doesn't seem like the Trump administration cares at all about people being confused or concerned about them just killing people, because they've almost killed around 90 people since September.
Right. And, you know, this also leads into the discussion of Trump's new national security strategy. But just in specifically in relation to the recent boat strikes. Trump came out with one of those classic Trump lies where he's making it up on the spot. He said, "Every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives."
Yeah, random lie.
Right, like what even shred of truth could even have been misconstrued to come out as that? It just
unbelievable.
I looked it up in the past few years. There's roughly 100,000 U.S. overdose deaths per year. So Trump is basically saying every boat we knock out, we're getting rid of 25% of all overdoses in the United States.
1/4 of all, yeah.
It's like,
listener at home,
insane.
Does that sound real to you or not? Because they've killed 22, so that would be they've saved over 1,000% of overdose. Because they've 22 boat strikes in the last few months, so if every one of them is a quarter.
How much drugs does he think are on the boat? It's just it's
boats big enough that they can only hold 4 people. And it's awful. I mean, it's awful, but you're right. It does tie really nicely to this national security thing, NSS, the national security strategy that they unveiled. It's funny. It's called the 2025 National Security Strategy. I mean, I guess it came out in 2025, but 1 month left. A couple of weeks. I feel like it's more like a 2026. But anyway,
right.
It's a pretty it's an interesting read. It's not super exciting. The biggest takeaways, in my opinion, is, a lot of American first language, a lot of sharp language on China, some more kind of weird Middle Eastern stuff, some Taiwan language. But I'd say the biggest kind of takeaway for me, at least, I'm curious what you think, was it kind of sounds like they're trying to do like a new Monroe Doctrine, or like trying to control the Western Hemisphere again and being like, we are the police for the Western Hemisphere now. Like, we control this side of the world. Like, if you think you're going to be able to do anything here, you have another thing coming.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the reason the document doesn't really make sense, like, ideologically maybe, is that it's saying we're withdrawing our presence in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's a minor part of it. While the major part is what you said, which is basically saying we're expanding our military presence in this hemisphere. So it's kind of like, what you might call like a pivot, I guess, of where the foreign policy and military focus is. But it does just strike me as so obviously hypocritical that it's in this America First language, and we're talking about, we're finally getting out of the Bush-Obama-Biden wars in the Middle East, but then here's all these new places we're going to attack because of cartels, at the same time. So it doesn't seem like something that, actual America First, like isolationist MAGA type people would really like. But I'm sure, it will be spun as this is all for the defense of the country.
Exactly, and just more and more that the only thing that they talk about nowadays is illegal immigration and drug stuff. I mean, and we'll talk about it more later now that they're kind of poo-pooing affordability now from the Trump administration. Really, they're running out of issues to focus on, and because everything else is a Democrat scam. So basically, what isn't a Democrat scam? I guess this. No, I know. I mean, they say this, and then all it will take is if something flares up with Israel, with Iran. I feel like then, bam, we're back to where it was before. And, people shouldn't forget that this year, only a mere 5 months ago, the U.S. did a missile strike on Iran and shot their nuclear kind of warehouses and whatnot. So it's not like this idea that like, we're just like so done with the Middle East. A handful of months ago, we were literally bombing the Middle East.
Right, exactly. And I guess the other minor parts about it would be typical Trump criticizing Europe.
Yeah, hates Europe again. More European bad.
Criticize Europe's lack of self-confidence in contributing to a deteriorating relationship with Russia, which is weird. Because his whole thing is he's too nice to Russia and is critical of Ukraine. Strange comment. He also says they're going to protect Taiwanese sovereignty. So I guess that's the silver lining. I guess that's not terrible, right?
Yeah, but also, very weird that they did that because, so again, I don't know if this is probably not true. So, but it is worth noting here that a lot of people think that if China were to do anything with Taiwan militarily, it's going to be over the next few years because of these kind of anniversary lines and kind of like the way these kind of historical things set up without getting too much into it. But so like probably if you had to place a Kalshi bet, you would, the over under China Taiwan war conflict is like probably the highest odds it's been in a while. And so it is interesting that they're saying that because I'm sure that has something to do with it. But it also makes me worried that actually now, like, why heat up? Just why would you make the language more intense? I don't know. Because the classic U.S. language with Taiwan is the one China policy, typically, which is basically we believe that there is one China. However, we believe that, people have the right to exist. So then it basically is a no answer to is Taiwan China or is China China. And so, yeah, so that's always been their stance. So this is interesting in that way because it does, change the language a little bit to being a little bit more pro-Taiwan, which is interesting. So, yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, though, one thing that we've seen here is Trump now, every time something gets kind of put in their face that something he campaigned on isn't happening, it becomes a scam, right? Every Epstein files are a scam. What else isn't a scam? The election was a scam. Everything's a scam. Everything's a hoax. And now the newest hoax / con job is affordability. Trump keeps going on and on about how cost of living is problems is a scam. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting seeing that was the top voter issue. And yeah, I mean, it was his number one thing he ran on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. I feel like it's more of the fallout from Election Day, Republicans losing all over the country. Yeah. And Trump was not happy about that, obviously. And J.D. Vance also criticized Democrats for talking about affordability recently, saying it's their fault. Everything's unaffordable.
Yeah, it will forever be their fault. It's always
right.
Like that's the thing with Trump. It's never his fault. When did they ever do anything? But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea though to run on that for the midterms. I feel like cost of living and affordability is like the number one issue for most people. So if you're starting to say it's a scam and it's all Biden's fault, I mean, it will have been 2 years, right?
Right, exactly. And like, why aren't they doing more in Congress too?
Well, and also too, it's just like with what we were talking about with the tariffs, right? Whereas they said for months and months and months and months, tariffs don't increase prices. And then, last week he goes, oh, we're actually going to take the tariffs off to help with prices. So it's the same thing. Like, oh, actually affordability is better. You're wrong. It's just like a massive gaslighting campaign, basically. The Trump administration is just a giant gaslighting campaign. And that's all it really always boils down to every single time. Just don't believe your eyes. We are the only truth kind of logic.
Right. I didn't even know Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly. What are you talking about? This is actually all Comey and Obama. Like, they just say stuff. Like, they just say words and it seems to work. And a big part of the reason why that is because so many people keep just blowing smoke up his ass and getting him even more and more delusional, it feels like. And another example of that is FIFA giving Trump its first ever peace prize, which FIFA has never given a peace prize before. For people who don't know, FIFA is the organization that runs the World Cup, infamously, accused of serious human rights violations, and one of the more evil, organizations based off of everything that's on the internet. So, when Trump was receiving it, it kind of felt like he thought it was the Nobel Peace Prize. Called it one of the great honors of his life. He rambled about how he stopped 8 wars, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I mean, I have a feeling FIFA will never be giving another Peach Prize again, and this was just to kiss Trump's ass.
Yeah, it's really cringeworthy, and really they should be embarrassed. Everyone involved in this display.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Is the president of FIFA is the one. Didn't he just give Trump a golden plaque a few months ago in the Oval Office?
Yes, he keeps giving him golden tickets and golden.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's Willy Wonka. The way he's handing out.
This guy keeps going, a golden goose for you, sir.
Well, I thought this part sounded like it was from like a comedy sketch. Like, there's no way they're all serious. The FIFA president, as he's handing him the trophy at the press conference, says, "Mr. Trump, you definitely deserve the first FIFA Peace Prize for your action." I thought that kind of sounds sarcastic. You definitely deserve this. And everyone there is like, this is meaningless bullshit. He doesn't deserve this, and it's not an award.
Well, I mean, it's literally a thing that hosts soccer events. Why would they have a Peace Prize? All they do is play soccer games. It'd be like if the NFL had a Peace Prize. They're gonna give Trump the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. They're gonna all these organizations are so shameless, and he just doesn't seem to realize how ridiculous it is.
Right, the honorary Heisman Trophy or something. Like,
remember with what was it? Where he took the Champions League trophy, or didn't he get a copy of one of the trophies for soccer? He loves soccer.
Yeah.
They love him over there because they keep giving him golden tickets. FIFA is ridiculous and FIFA is a scam. But we'll see what that does for the World Cup. So an interesting story here in Minnesota. So we've been talking, obviously Tim Walz was in the news last week, not by his own accord, because during a Thanksgiving rampage, Trump called him a retard. And that was that. But what has been going on in the background in Minnesota in general is that there have been apparently some level of corruption and fraud amongst the Minnesota government. So, some people are reporting over $1 billion of alleged fraud in different programs and stuff like that. Now, obviously, Walz is in leadership positions, so his eyes definitely, people are looking to him. So this might be an example where Trump randomly's, enemy might, the gun got turned to Walz just because of Trump's outbursts, and now something might come out of it, actually.
Right, exactly. And yeah, everyone's discussing what this all means for Walz's future political prospects. But I mean, I wasn't incredibly enthusiastic coming out of the 2024 election, right? I mean, he wasn't bad, but I wasn't like, this is the next star of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
right.
It's just a guy. It's just a guy. And I did think that they maybe didn't utilize his kind of, Midwestern charm enough during the campaign to try to make the, ticket a little less snobby sounding. But after his debate with Vance, they kind of had no choice, because Vance did kind of, at worst, go neutral with him, but most likely did beat him in the VP debate. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say either won or lost.
Yeah.
Vance definitely stuttered less and was a little more clear-spoken, and Walz just wasn't aggressive or assertive enough. You know what I mean? It kind of obviously nothing like Biden's debate performance, but it was the same issue with Biden being so old in 2024 was he can't assert himself against the worst candidate ever. And we need somebody that can do that at a bare minimum, can do that.
100%. And I feel because Kamala had done a good job versus Trump in her debate, people were hopeful. And also Vance at that time had a really low bar. People forget that when Vance got picked, a lot of people were like, this is a terrible mistake. Vance sucks. Remember? Like, I think the expectations for Vance going into that debate were pretty low.
Right.
And whereas Walz had a much higher expectation because, it's assumed that Democrats will be well-spoken, where it's assumed Republican candidates will just start yelling at you. So, which is ridiculous, obviously. But, yeah, I don't know. This might be the end of Mr. Tim Walz in the long run, and, yeah, whatever. like you said, I don't really care. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right. It looks like he might have to go. Fair enough. In ridiculous Trump news, in classic Trump administration fashion, we have the National Park Services amending its free service days, so they give national holidays free days. They have removed MLK Day and Juneteenth from free fee days, and instead have added Trump's birthday now, which is Flag Day, but still. I don't know why you would do that other than if you were racist. What else could be the point of removing the only two black national holidays and adding Trump's B-Day for free days for the park? I mean, maybe they'll reverse this because there is some drama in Congress, but yeah, it just seems racist. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Well, what do you think, Rick?
Yeah, it's always great when Trump's narcissism and racism come out in equal force.
Yes.
At the same time. Like,
yes.
It'd be one thing if he just added his birthday to the list, and it's like, okay, that's so dumb that he needs this attention on his birthday, but fine. But it's like, no, we're also going to take away MLK Day free passes because I'm also like, it's his racism and narcissism is teaming up.
It's a true perfect storm of them doing it. And it's also just goes so we've covered these over the year so far about like these random little name changes and random little policy changes that have no point other than to be mean, like changing different military fort names to like, Confederate leaders, or removing Harvey Milk's name off of a Navy boat or whatever, like things like this that they just do to just like as FUs to the minority/gay community. And here's just another no reason other than just to be hateful, right?
Right, exactly.
I don't know how anybody could think that there's any other reason for that. So another little interesting piece of news: the Supreme Court has now officially said that Texas can use the maps that they gerrymandered earlier in the year. Obviously, that was the first kind of big, redistricting that happened mid-decade, which then started off a whole kind of domino effect of different states throughout the country doing it. More of them being conservative, but a few left-leaning, including California. So, I mean, basically what that means is that the map is going to be in effect for 2026, and likely all of these maps are going to be sticky for the midterms.
Right. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and it's like a race to the bottom, like we've discussed before. Like it's just it's going to just get uglier and uglier. And
yep.
It's not like anybody, like we don't like gerrymandering. So it's like a weird thing, like where people are put in the spot of like, oh, should we be defending the Gavin Newsom side because like we have to match their energy? Which is a good argument, obviously. But yeah, it's a mess, and it's kind of sad how like we just don't have faith in the Supreme Court to block like any significant thing Trump does anymore.
Yeah, it's basically just we just watch it burn one step at a time, And yeah, I mean, if you look at a map now of all the different states that have been gerrymandered so far, the conservatives still have a pretty sizable lead for the House. That they've added like 5 seats even with California and whatnot. So that's unfortunate, but obviously we have more time to see what happens. So lastly, before we get to our kind of cultural blast, I'll call it, because we have a lot of cultural stories this week. This is where's my media?
Where's the siren when you need one?
It's crazy that I don't have a siren. I only have...
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So this is a little thing that caught my radar. So Texas, the state of Texas, now officially has made it legal for ivermectin to be available over the counter. Now, people may have remembered the name ivermectin because that was the medicine that, Joe Rogan said he took to cure his COVID, and they were kind of pushing during the pandemic. It's a malaria medication, and there has been absolutely no evidence to say that it helps with COVID at all. But this kind of shows you that this is still kind of lingering in the background, this weird pro-ivermectin policy.
It's a big win for the bro science community. I gotta say,
Yes.
there are a
Big
lot
time.
of guys on, off-label testosterone that are very excited about getting to add ivermectin to their stack. Yeah. Is it just me, or is this a particularly dumb week of news?
This is the dumbest week.
We haven't even got to Sabrina Carpenter yet. We've already talked about the FIFA dumb prize.
This is the dumbest week of news.
Affordability is a scam. Just this is a tough one.
It's going to be like Ric Flair is now the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Secretary of Fire. What?
The annual book burning will now commence in Florida. Like it's like that. Like it's crazy. No, you're right. This is ridiculous. Ivermectin is now over the counter. It's a malaria pill.
Right, and I've made this point before on the show, but the whole ridiculous nature of the anti-vax people falling in love with ivermectin when ivermectin is made by the same pharmaceutical giants that make the COVID vaccine, and how they don't see that as being like a big deal. Just doesn't make sense.
Is ivermectin? Well, remember when ivermectin was killing people, right? Because people were taking too much of it, and they were it was like poison. They were poisoning themselves with ivermectin because people were just pounding it during the lockdown. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, people were like stealing it from like veterinary offices.
Yeah, because it's not a real ivermectin. When I was in Indonesia doing, in the rainforest, some people had ivermectin. It's not meant for
deworms you.
Yeah. You'll give it to your dog Spot. But yeah, so a big win for that. Another, we didn't even put this on the list, but the CDC has now also changed its vaccine schedule for kids now. So now they're saying the Hep B vaccine shouldn't be delivered within 24 hours of birth, which is going against what it's been. Again, just totally politically motivated. I'm going to this is one of the weirdest parts about all of this medical stuff, especially, is that you're going to start seeing major variants, doctor to doctor now, how to handle certain things, which is really weird.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a mess. And it's another thing, just like immigration and ICE, where Trump supporters assured us that he's not extreme on this. He just wants this little bit of he's not against vaccines. He just thinks the COVID vaccine was rushed out. But it's like, nope, we're still in his first year, and he's getting rid of other vaccines now.
It's so crazy. And in the shock of shocks, the man who is selling onesies that said no vax, no problem, is anti-vax. You don't say. But yeah. Just, it's so funny, just how everything is a scam now. What issue exists, actually? Is it only illegal immigration? That's the only thing that is true. Every other thing is a scam now, because now it's actually things are cheap and it's a scam. So every topic now. So I don't know. I wonder about this stuff, and it makes me wonder. But you mentioned it easier. We may have buried the lead a little bit on this show, which is the White House got into a big drama with Sabrina Carpenter, the pop singer, because they used her songs during an ICE promo video. Now, she's not the first artist to detest against ICE and whatnot using her music, but it was interesting because they did go back and forth over and over again because the White House loves beefing with celebs.
Yeah, and this is just in an alternate timeline. Trump should have never become president, and he should have just been his apprentice host self, tweeting and fighting with celebs. Like, this is what he should be doing. He shouldn't be the president. He should be a drama a reality TV guy who fights with teenagers online.
That's what he was. That's all he did, firing freaking Rosie O'Donnell from The Apprentice. This is his thing, making fun of Bruce Springsteen. This is what he's good at. This is his skill. It's not leading a nation.
Yeah, before they got rid of the post, the White House released a statement, quote, "Here's a short and sweet message for Sabrina Carpenter. We won't apologize for deporting dangerous criminal, illegal murderers, rapists, and pedophiles from our country. Anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid, or is it slow?"
Oh my God.
I'm assuming there's a couple Carpenter song references in there the way it was written, but
there is. Yeah, I know that. There is. Short and Sweet being the name of her album, and
wasn't the usual wording of White House statements.
No, that wasn't. Those are intentionally digged, probably written by ChatGPT. But yeah, that's me puking on the mic. I don't know. It does feel like maybe one of the best ways to get an action from Trump is a celeb calling him out. You know? Like, it almost feels like George Clooney attacking him is more likely to get a response than, like, if some senator does.
Right.
Because
it's just crazy. Like, his deep hatred for random celebrities like Carpenter or Taylor Swift, who have never really spoken that badly about him compared with, outspoken celebrities.
Of course.
Other than saying, I'm voting for Harris. But, like, other than that, like, it's not like they're harassing Trump every day of their lives. Like, it's very mild statements. It seems like Trump gets so furious at those things. Like, he takes it so personal and he gets so emotional about it. And then he'll be, like, talking about the North Korean dictator, and he's like, yeah, he's a super nice guy. Like, I have no issues with him.
Unbelievable sweetheart. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. It's just so weird. It's just so weird how that stuff happens. And it just I don't know, freaks me out. Well, and also it's funny because this is always an issue with the Republicans in general when they need music rights for things. They can never get celebrities or music endorsements. So it's always like Kid Rock, Clint Eastwood, whatever, Meatloaf. Or whatever, like there's like 6 guys, and it just shows you that it's just not gonna change. Like, they're not winning over Gen Z famous people, even if they are winning over some Gen Z people themselves.
Right, exactly. And the greater conversation about the disgusting criminal immigrants. I was watching UFC last night, and there was an ICE commercial that came on. Like, recruiting people to apply to ICE. And they go, come help us fight the worst people on the planet. The worst of the worst of the worst.
What?
That's what they actually said in the commercial. And I was like,
what?
This is why when you talk to a Trump supporter, like, they're so confident that all this ICE stuff is good because they genuinely believe that ICE is only arresting violent rapists. Like, that's actually what they believe, even though there's so much evidence that not only are they arresting totally innocent immigrants, but they're arresting totally innocent American citizens.
And the vast majority of illegal immigrants aren't, like, violent criminals. Like, 99% of them aren't. Like, it's a crazy statistic.
But just, like, for that recruitment to come help us fight the worst of the worst of the worst, it's like they are just driving the point home so hard that, like, there's nothing to see here. We're just getting rid of murderers, Don't worry about it.
It's just so wild because it just shows you that there's such a disconnect, like you said, between like what's actually happening and what isn't. And again, it's just the way they talk about certain people is just so crazy. I mean, obviously last week he really went off on Somalians, calling them garbage and whatnot. And, his disdain for immigrants is so nasty. It's so nasty. And it's just, I just wish the language wasn't so dehumanizing, but that's the way these guys talk, and that doesn't seem to bother half the country. But I do want to talk about a certain Gen Z person that we don't talk about on this show a lot. It is one Barron Trump. Whoa. You're familiar with Barron, of course. All 6'10" of him. He's huge. He's a tall boy.
How old is he now?
He's 18.
Okay.
And I got a news alert that made me literally laugh out loud, and I wanted to get your live reaction. I just want to read the headline to you, straight up, okay? Barron Trump is, quote, very close to putting his faith in Christ, unquote, after 12:30 a.m. call about religion, pastor claims. And then the subheading is, Stuart Netschke, a TikTok famous pastor, claims he made the pitch for Christianity to the president's son in a late-night call. And he's 19, actually. So basically what happened was this TikTok pastor got a hold of Barron at 12:31 in the morning and told him to go to Christ.
God.
And in the talking about his call, he said,
did the pastor wait until he turned 18 to message him?
Yeah. The pastor also did send Well, listen to the you ready to really get eked out? This is the quote from him talking about it. I thought I was hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink when it came to all of the evidence for God.
What? I hit him with Noah's Ark. I hit him with Isaac, Abraham.
He goes, I thought I was really on. I was pumped, he added, before suggesting that it wasn't enough to really sway Barron. How do you explain that? Netschke said. How do you explain that? Netschke replied. He said he received a few times from Barron. That's an interesting point. Anyways, this is an entire article. And I just, to your point about this news being so stupid this week, that made me
Barron Trump's spiritual journey is in the news.
1 a.m. calls from a TikTok guy saying he hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. Yeah.
It's like he's not even
so weird.
Just literally sounds like a used car salesman selling a car.
I did everything I could to get a freaking.
I brought up Moses 30 times in 1 hour.
I brought up Abraham. I brought the ark. I went water in the wine. He walked on water. Nothing. Couldn't get this kid. And also, how does this guy have Barron's number? And also, why is he calling him at 1 in the morning to talk about God? What is going on? Why not just call during the normal time of day?
Like that, even after that, it sounds like Barron wasn't convinced.
No, he didn't convince.
He's still skeptical of Christianity.
Well, if you like the title of the article said, Barron Trump is very close to putting his faith in Christ. I didn't know Barron was like a well-known atheist either. But yeah.
Did not know that. Wow.
But there's a lot of there's a ton of articles about this. I just thought it was just like, to your point, just such a good symbolism, like a symbol of just how dumb this landscape has gotten. Yes. So in kind of a more interesting piece of news, not really political, but definitely culture, Netflix is going to buy HBO Max. It was a $72 to $83 billion cash and stock deal. And, it has to get regulatory approval, but it's a pretty big deal. I have a lot of feelings about this, but I was just curious if you had any thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just like moving closer and closer to a monopoly in a field where the cable companies used to have kind of a monopoly or almost a monopoly, a few cable companies, and it's increasingly looking like these monthly streaming services have just become the new cable monopolies, and there's no real difference. And it's similar to the cable monopolies in that you've seen in the past 5 years the quality of the content really going down. Like they're just pushing out anything that they can make for cheap money and get on people's screens. So as far as value of entertainment goes, I don't see how this could be a good thing. I feel like it's less competition. It's going to equal probably more bad TV shows and movies. I don't know. What's your reaction?
Totally. And it's going to make up, the price is going to go up for sure. And they're going to do what they do on HBO now, where they're going to have ads. I guarantee it. The ads on streaming things really drives me crazy. I'm paying for it. Why do I have to have commercials now? It's basically become cable now. All the different channels, all the different streaming services. Now they're all bundling up in the background. I have a feeling we're end up going to just be spending, $100 a month to get all of the shows. And at that point, what was the difference from cable? It's just becoming cable again.
Right. And the reason we were so happy to switch from cable to Netflix was because we were paying $100 a month for cable, and then now we could pay $8.99 for Netflix and then $5.99 for Hulu. And Wow, that's so much cheaper. But now they're all around $20. So it's that's adding up pretty close to what cable was.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder if that will happen. I mean, again, not that most people care, but a good example of this is with the NFL. They do the NFL Red Zone, which is just a highlight show of all the different touchdowns that happen during the year. Usually it's been commercial free forever. This year they've introduced commercials, DraftKings commercials mostly, but commercials. And they said that they were only going to air X percentage amount of commercials of we'll do 6 15-second commercials. And someone's been tracking them, and they've just done way more than they said they were going to do. And again, it's not it's super noticeable, but it's I'm paying whatever $20 a month here. That's supposed to cover the fees. That's supposed to give you the revenue you need so you don't need commercials, but now you're double dipping, and it's just we're going to be living in a world now where people are oh dude, I hit the friggin', over under on car crashes this week, and that way I can now pay for my Netflix bundle to get blah, blah. This is what this is coming to. Every opinion is going to be commercialized. It's freaking creepy. And then you're going to have these chore robots we talked about a few weeks ago running around your house. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What's going on? It's weird.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's weird. I don't like it. But I figured that we have one more question, like I mentioned off the top of the show. This one is from Mike, and this is Mike from, let me look, I wrote it down, Illinois. Thank you, Mike. This question has nothing to do with politics, so I thought it could serve our cultural kind of moment. How do you feel about that?
I'd love it. I'm nervous, but
it's good. It's what do you think about Katy Perry's love affair with Justin Trudeau? No, I'm joking. It's not. But I am curious what you think about that. But no, but more so, it's what is your favorite Disney movie?
Ooh, that's a tough call. Did we talk about this once before?
So I was just gonna say we talked about Disney Channel movies, and I think what happened is I think that's what lodged it in this.
I feel like I brought up Luck of the Irish on this podcast before.
I think you brought on Sweet 16 or whatever, 17 again. Or...
my 13th year when the guy becomes a mermaid.
And the guy becomes a mermaid and you...
I'm growing gills.
Mom, it's not a phase. I'm a mermaid now. I think that's what it is. It has to be. I was thinking that too. I think we've talked about this on the pod.
So we're talking Disney cartoons primarily, the 90s.
I think so. Yeah, you can. I mean, if you have a good Disney Channel movie that is like your clear-cut favorite, I think that counts.
Yeah, I don't have a super clear one. I think I would say Lion King from like the general classics.
I feel like that's a safe bet. Like people love Lion King.
Yeah, I feel like Lion King, Mulan is up. I mean, we were the right age when Mulan hit. That was
Totally.
a big one.
Yeah, Mulan felt right for a while.
I started dressing like her for a couple weeks there.
And I think, didn't they have Christina Aguilera sing her vocals for the movie, I think?
Yeah.
Is that I mean, what a singer.
The Reflection song.
Oh, anyway. What a soundtrack.
It's one of my bedtime playlists.
Oh, man. What an absolute hit. There's some good Disney movies.
Yeah, what's yours?
My favorite is Monsters, Inc., I think. I've always loved Monster Inc. Actually, that might be DreamWorks. But Disney DreamWorks. Is Shrek Disney?
So I forget. The Disney-Pixar relationship is complicated. I think like the guy that started Pixar left Disney to start Pixar or something like that. They like branched off at some point.
So Monsters Inc. is on Disney Plus, which I don't know if that means.
I think it counts.
Walt Disney Pictures, yeah. Produced by Pixar for Walt Disney. Okay, that counts. I would have gone Aladdin as my number 2. Love Aladdin.
Yeah, great one.
But you didn't really watch a lot of Disney movies as a kid, right?
No, not really. I remember Aladdin and Little Mermaid. I think I watched a lot.
Which, yeah, I mean,
you have any
Disney movies.
You have any comments on that? Or you got a problem with that?
Look, I think a lot of people would say their favorite movie from Disney is Lion King, Little Mermaid. These are classics, you know. Have you ever seen the Pinocchio movie?
I don't. Maybe a little bit on TV, but no.
It's pretty spooky.
Not fully,
it's an older one, very intense, very creepy, like classic Walt Disney, you know, spooky. Because a lot of those old animations are really spooky.
Right.
But you know me though. I'm more of a Hayao Miyazaki fan, a Studio Ghibli fan, than a Disney. I love Ghibli movies. I'm a huge dork.
I'm not familiar.
What? You don't know Hayao Miyazaki?
No.
You don't know Studio Ghibli? Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle.
I have seen
Totoro.
Spirited Away actually.
This Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
You don't know those guys? You know those guys. You've seen Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is like the only of that genre I've seen, though.
Did you like
yeah,
it?
I have seen that. Yeah, I liked it. I bought it like knowing I rented it back in the day, knowing like nothing about it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good.
I mean, I like those movies, yeah. I mean,
Creepy.
they're good. Very creepy. They also have great soundtracks, which I really like. I like the music of them a lot. But anyway, that's going to do it. We've got not a lot. This is a quicker show than normal. I mean, we still win an hour, but it's a quicker show than normal.
Yeah, lots of dumb stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad we could numb the brain of the audience for at least an hour. Please send us your questions in at thelonelyliberalpodcast@gmail.com. Before we get out of here, Rick, we talked about it yesterday when we went out, but exciting stuff with our Spotify numbers. We got finished in the top 10% of all new shows on Spotify. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. Thank you to everyone that's listened.
It's a real treat, and we appreciate you all very much. And we're going to keep at it. We're going to do a kind of a year in review episode. Maybe not next week, but the week after? I don't know. When is Christmas? Is it on a weekend this year?
Yeah, 2 weeks will be the Sunday before Christmas, the 21st.
Okay, so that will be our
think
our annual review, our year in review, our festive party.
Sounds
I wonder
great.
I wonder if anyone will ask us about Christmas stuff. But anyway, alrighty, we'll talk to you later. See you, man.
Thanks, bye.
Bye. And that's our show, folks. Thank you so much for listening today. If you like the show, please give it a 5-star review, either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. It really does help the show, and we really do appreciate it when you do it. And yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday per usual to talk about something juicy. So until then, take it easy. Have a good start to your week, kick do what you got to do. All right. I'll be there on Wednesday. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.